If you're positive, you better bless this space. If you're negative, you better get up on my face. If you're positive, you better bless this space. If you're negative, you better get up on my face. If you are positive, you better bless our space. If you are negative, you better get up on our faces. Yay.
Period.
Welcome back, everybody.
Yay, we're recording again. Welcome back, everybody, and welcome if you are new to another episode of Witches and Weebs, where otaku and spirituality come together to create a harmonious community of witches and weebs. I am Azari.
I am Space.
And today we will be giving or asking for a vibe check.
Ooh, well, part one of a vibe check.
Part one of a vibe check.
Because I've realized there's a lot more to each different type of witchcraft. So while we will be talking about 3 today, there are way more than 3, and we've got 3 more already written and planned for the next part. This is going to end up being a little mini series.
So basically, the archetypes of witches that we're talking about are the most commonly known in pop culture period. So we've got the green witch, not to be confused with hedge witch. We got kitchen witch, lunar witch, sea witch, crystal witch, like all of the more known witches. And then at some point, we're going to dive into the ones that are not as commonly known to
I found
pop
quite
culture
a few
community.
that are really interesting. We're starting light because we want to talk about the difference between a green witch and a hedge witch, which are 2 very different things. Let's just say that.
Yes, people see hedge and they take it as, well, hedge is a bush. Hedges are green, so that means that I'm a green witch. No. Now, you are on the right-ish track, but we're going to get further into both of them when we start talking about each one of them. So without further ado, Space, you want to start us off?
Okay, so first, I want to talk about the difference between being a solitary witch and a coven witch. Now, me and Mia are very obviously kind of coven witches at this point, but it's literally just the 2 of us.
Right.
It's just the 2 of us. And it could be that small of a coven. If you want to just be 2 people in a coven, here you go. Your example right here.
Right.
Hi. You and your bestie. Let's start.
You do not need a bazillion amount of people to create a coven. To me, at that point, you might be a cult, but
it depends.
There's a fine line between a coven and a cult.
Yeah, and I think that I personally lack the motivation to learn by myself. So being in a coven is literally my best friend. Literally. So if you find learning on your own a struggle, and you find sitting like body doubling with somebody else, and even if you just compare notes, you're researching 2 different things and just be like, oh, I think this would work, blah, 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 and you just trust each other inexplicably because that is not a word, but whatever. Cool.
I understand what you were saying.
English is hard.
English is hard.
So that's part of one element of being a witch is what you want to be is, do you want to be in a coven or do you want to be by yourself?
Right. So some examples of a solitary witch, Wanda from Marvel, Agatha also from Marvel, and then you've got Covens, basically the craft. You've got Sabrina and her aunts.
They would have been a family coven. They'd have been a family-based coven, yes.
And then you've got the reboot, The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, where they are actually different covens. And then you've got Charmed, the Charmed sisters. That's a coven of 3 sisters.
And each practice is completely valid. There are plenty of examples for being solitary witches and being coven-based witches. So neither practice is better. And sometimes you'll be a coven-based witch for a couple years and then be like, I also want to do some solitary stuff on my own. And you'll technically be both.
So
because you won't give up on your coven sisters. Yeah, you won't give up on your coven sisters, but you also take a little bit of a different subsection of another path because you're like, this doesn't interest my people, but it interests me, and you just carry on. So, and then you'll be solitary for many years, and then you'll find a bestie and be like, oh, I want to be in a coven with you. Like, let's go.
Right.
So, past change. And that's the first part of what I wanted to talk about is the different, the two different paths that you could take as being just a witch in general. Mm-hmm. And from there, we'll talk about more. We're going to start with Green Witch. The first thing a Green Witch is obviously going to be into anything from the ground. Herbs, herb magic, herb healing. You would learn basically a lot of what we have been watching in Apothecary Diaries. You would be very much like an apothecary. I think that was one of the types of roles that women had in the past that was accused of witchcraft. Not necessarily that they were doing anything fancy, they just knew what herbs did and what helped. So, there's also magical correspondence that you would know to learn and to blend that into spell crafting and also cooking. Mm-hmm. Because I do think that green witchery leads a little bit into our third witchcraft, but that's a personal opinion.
Yeah, we can talk more about that when we get to the kitchen witch.
If you're interested in gardening, a green witch that's where you want to be. They know all kind of garden secrets. They love to grow their own herbs, to dry their own herbs, to grow their own flowers, to grow their own vegetables. And they'll typically not plant in a traditional line by line style. They'll know what plants work really, really well together and make it as low maintenance as possible. They'll plant more. That's why when you see a witch's house, the gardens are always overgrown and looking messy and blah, 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 blah. It's actually because they plant more akin to nature. Mm-hmm. How it would turn up in nature. Like they'll have a tree and then below the tree, they'll have all the plants that would typically grow below that tree because of the nutrients that the tree gives them.
Right.
So those are the type of gardens that green witches would typically have. A lot of their rituals would be nature-based. So they would be staying in nature, done in nature, done outside, done sitting in the ground. Again, it leads into the way that they probably do their grounding is very eco-friendly. They go outside, sit in the dirt, ground directly to nature. That's probably where they get the little spooky, they dance naked in outside, because that's probably what they're doing, is connecting to the earth,
right,
connecting to nature.
With green witchery, again, would come botany, herbalism, apothecary.
Herbalism. That was the word I couldn't think of.
Maybe even a little bit of shamanism. Because we have a friend who's very into, like mushrooms and all those kind of things. I cannot remember the word for mushroom, but they really are very into mushrooms.
Fungi.
Who?
Fungi?
Fungi. I think it is fungi. But they're very into the fruits of nature. And that's what I really like about Green Witch, because
I also really love the foraging aspect of Green Witchery.
Like, how to survive in nature. Nature, that is your home. As a Green Witch, the outside is your home. You know exactly what fruit this is, and you know if it's poisonous or not. You know exactly what this herb is, and you know its spiritual properties. And that's the thing with herbs and spices. They all also have some sort of spiritual property, and that's why they can be used in spell work, because it's like, okay, well, this is lavender. Lavender is poisonous to ingest, but I can, if I want to make a calming sort of spell, I'll add some lavender to it. Or if I need some sort of clarity, I can add some peppermint or some mint. Or just, as a green witch, intuitively what each herb, each spice, each plant, crop, whatever can do for you in terms of not only health, again, herbalism or apothecary, but in spirituality and in witchcraft. So you can have that abundance of energy in your spells and from using the properties of, you know, those flora and herbs and spices again. So
there's also the way a green witch might do divination, I wanted to bring up a little bit, because talking about foraging and knowing themselves in nature, that they would also be able to know what rocks mean. Like, they'd be able to divinate from plants, from rocks, from natures and patterns. They might read leaves, not just tea leaves, but I'm talking regular leaves as well. Consult with trees. I talk about talking to trees all the time. And they would also use stones and crystals for guidance. So if you find yourself drawn to crystals, you might also not just be a crystal witch. You could actually be a green witch drawn back to Earth. Mm-hmm. Because crystals are a part of the Earth.
Right.
When talking about divination, what you would be typically communing with would be nature spirits, earth elemental spirits, any kind of Gaia. I don't know who the one in Norse mythology is, but Gaia is the one in Greek.
Mm-hmm. You might even be able to talk with Fae, because Fae are very, very big into nature. I have a fairy deck right over there, and the cover is literally a little hobbit hole tree. It's a nice elder-like tree.
Yes, you can work with the Fae, but I will not recommend any new witch ever work with the Fae.
Yeah, no, Fae are very big tricksters, so
yeah,
they like haha funny.
They haha funny, and it's not haha funny sometimes.
They really tell you about yourself in the most brutal way possible, then, but you're okay, haha.
It's like, we told you now, you'll learn from it, it's fine.
Like, we made you cry, but it's totally okay.
So those are the type of spirits you would typically work with, are the Mother Earths, the whatever ones are associated with the earth itself and growing harvest. What's the mother of Persephone?
Demeter? Demeter?
Demeter. She is the mother of harvest. She is the mother of the seasons. She is the reason that we have spring and summer and winter and fall. So you would pray to her most likely, and you would work with her and commune with her and those kind of spirits. A lot of your spells and rituals would typically be aligned with eco-friendly kind of things, like for environmental healing, like you would go towards body of water, advocating for the protections of forests, casting spells in using earth elements and stuff like that. Also, water elements would probably be a strong one.
Yep. Tree guardians, all that stuff.
Oh, tree guardians is a good one. I forgot about that. So that is more aligned with what is a green witch. A lot of their practices would be nature focused.
Yep.
For sure. It would be a lot of herbalism, like you said earlier, apothecary, even just communing with trees, being out in nature, foraging, gardening, anything that connects you with nature would be where you would find the most peace as a green witch.
Rain, leaves again, even snow. You could use snow.
I think that snow would be a great way to I think snow is a great way to get kind of very interesting take on water. And we'll talk about that in another episode, because I want to talk about all the different styles of water that you could use.
I will say, in Space actually talked about this off camera like a while ago. If you see a big lake and the moon is shining right on that lake, that is moon water. Take a swim in that moon water.
If you see the reflection of the moon on that surface of anything, it's moon water now, bitch, swim.
Right, just connect. Become one with nature.
I think that truthfully, green witchery is a great way to just get more in tune with naturey. Oh my god, how embarrassing. Blech. Anyway, but I also think it's just a great way to like get back to nature, because we were not meant to be inside all the time.
It really makes you appreciate Earth as a whole planet more. And especially when you start traveling and seeing so many different species that you cannot get in your area that is regional to that area.
It's so different seeing things in real. Like pictures and TV just don't do it justice, man.
At all.
So go outside,
and
touch grass.
That's why it's so important to like preserve plant life that is not common, like white sage. White sage is slowly becoming extinct because so many people are using them in their cleansing practices, and it's not something that you can get or come across easily. So you have to be mindful. I feel like that comes with being a green witch. You are more mindful of what comes in abundance and what doesn't. So you know, hey, maybe I should give back and plant this so more of it can grow. Or if there's an abundance of this, I'll just take some for myself. That way I can balance out and it's not too much of one and it's not too little of the other.
There's invasive species in areas that need to be taken out. So there are plants in nature that you can take easy. You just have to like know and do a little research.
And thank the earth for letting you take their fruit.
Absolutely. Always say thank you. I'm telling you, trees love energy. It doesn't matter what kind of energy. Say thank you because they do have feelings. They feel it. Science has proved that. That grass feels when it's being cut. So that just to make you really uncomfortable.
Make sure you touch grass. Don't cut it. Unless it wants to be cut.
Yeah, well, you can always ask. Green witch is not hedge witchery.
And I've seen so many. Well, what's a hedge witch? A hedge witch is someone who's in tune with nature and likes plants and herbs and stuff. And it's like, okay, well, most witches do like that. But green witches use it in a very specific, practical way to their practices. Whereas a hedge witch is a witch that can branch between both worlds.
As it's walking the hedge between life and death. It's not an actual hedge, a bush. It's the hedge between life and death. And it's a metaphor that everybody just swing.
And it literally got its name because back in ye old times, whenever you would find a witch, she would be surrounded by hedges because she's been isolated from the main town. So she's on the outskirts of this town with hedges bordering her home to protect herself, but also because people were afraid of the witch. People didn't want to be around the witch. People were afraid of the unknown. And so this witch is isolated on the very, very, very outskirts of their town, hence the name Hedge Witch.
Okay, well, I didn't know that, so let's just say I learned something new today. I just knew that Hedge Witch was also called that specifically because they walk the veil, which is called the hedge between life and death. Mm-hmm. They commune most heavily with spirits. They talk with the dead. They talk with the gods. They talk with they dream walk. They're mediums. They're the people that you would call mediums. This is a hedge witch typically. Spirit communication and mediumship, dream work, lucid dreaming, astral travel, soul journaling, which I don't know what exactly that means, but it reminds me very heavily of like shamanistic tendencies where they like send their soul out to see more of. Very interesting. They're also the ones that this is specifically the ones that are known to dance in the moonlight naked.
They're communing. They understand.
They are actually, that is exactly what they are doing. They've lost all their earthly possessions and are trying to dance into loosening themselves, into letting go, which would be what you would typically do during meditation.
It's a very flashy form of astral projection. It's itself as a whole.
So yeah, that's, what was I saying? I forgot.
I will say before you start, because we're going into the medium aspect of a hedge witch. Now, I always say that spirituality is the precursor to witchcraft. Someone could be a medium, but they don't necessarily identify as a hedge witch. They can just communicate with spirits. They can communicate with ancestors, gods, or whoever they choose to commune with. So if you do have these qualities, because I have a cousin who is a medium, they can see spirits, they can commune with spirits, but they don't identify as a hedge witch. So when you're attaching witch or witchcraft to something, 9 out of 10 times, it was probably something that you had been involved with spiritually, like me and crystals. I did crystals for spirituality. I do crystals for witchcraft. But it's really up to you to determine if you want to put that label or that title to you as a person.
Yeah, you can be 100% a medium and never touch witchcraft at all. You can just commune with spirits. Mm-hmm. Because, again, mediumship is only one part of what makes a hedge witch. That is literally one aspect of them. I've got 7 other aspects to talk about that make the hedge witch the hedge witch. And mediumship is one part of them, and they absolutely frequently commune with spirits. Spirits talk to them. They walk into a house and they'll probably be like, there's like 3 dead people here, just for the record. And you're like, bro, mind your business.
Did I ask? Who asked? Damn. Show off.
But leading into other practices that they would go to, they would also be into studying dreams and lucid dreaming. Because that is, again, what I believe is that dreams are just access to the subconscious, and wherever everything else is going on, wherever their gods are, that's where they're at, in the subconscious space. I'm sure it's got fucking 75 different layers.
Right.
But you know what I mean? You can access them via your dreams. Mm-hmm. So they would do lucid dreaming and dream walking, which is a type of actual spell work where they go through other people's dreams and manipulate them.
All right. Damn, that's kind of cool, but also kind of scary.
That is a little scary. Dream walking involves consciously exploring the dream world and interacting with other entities and gaining wisdom during the journey that you can use in reality. So they go through and walk through the dream world, which I believe is just access to the other side.
Right.
Speaking of dream walking, that's probably another thing called astral traveling and astral work. So that would be consciously separating the soul from the body and exploring other realms.
What movie am I thinking about? I'm thinking about a movie, not Soul. It's a horror movie. Oh, okay. I think, is it The Conjuring? So I don't remember the name of the movie, but I watched it with a group of people.
Just for the record, I think Soul is highly accurate.
I love Soul.
But in not necessarily how they train the souls, but I think that's what the other side looks like.
We're just all sitting in a line like, okay, my turn, okay, my turn, okay, my turn. But it was a horror movie, and basically it was the son who would be drawing all of these images that popped into his head because he was actually I think it was hypnotized or whatever. Spoiler alert, I do not remember the name of the movie, but if I do, I will put it at the beginning of the video. So if you want to watch it and you don't want spoilers, just skip this section. But basically, something really bad and cursed happened to him when he was younger. His father took him to a hypnotist, whatever the fuck they're called, and he erased it. A hypnotist. He erased the dude, his kid's memory. And so as he's getting older, he's drawing all of these gruesome images of is it The Door? I don't know, but there was a door and he didn't know what the fuck this door was. And come to find out, he starts recalling everything that his dad basically made him forget. And at one point of the movie, he is literally astral projecting out of his body to walk around and see what's going on to make sure that it's safe for him and his friend to get out. And I thought that was a pretty cool
that is cool
part of the movie. If I can remember what it's called, I will absolutely tell you, but I cannot for the life of me. I feel like it was one of the Conjuring movies. And if it wasn't a Conjuring movie, it definitely had the Conjuring dude in it. Let me see. At least I think it's the Conjuring dude. Patrick Wilson. He was absolutely, I think it was Insidious. I think it was The Red Door. I'm pretty sure it was Insidious, The Red Door.
Oh, I don't think I saw The Red Door because I saw the first Insidious. So I definitely don't remember that.
Yeah, I think it was Insidious, The Red Door.
Okay, that would make sense.
Oh yeah, it was Insidious, The Red Door. Or Insidious 5, as people will call it.
Oh, damn, that's a lot of movies to watch. What the fuck?
But I liked it. It wasn't terrible, but you know, it's a horror movie, so horror movies are horror movies, so.
Yes, there's one thing that you want out of a horror movie, and that's to be scared, and if it doesn't do that, then poo-poo caca.
Yeah, it was The Red Door.
Okay, interesting. Bringing up the idea of astral projecting is that they'll also use plants to help that, such as mugwort, wormwood, yarrow, and sage to aid in trance states, spirit communication, and also forms of protection. I actually have mugwort right here.
I learned something new today because I also have mugwort. I have yarrow. I have sage. I have St. John's wort. I have a few.
These teas will be typically burned, consumed as tea, or used as satchel or charms. If you're doing satchels and charms are probably for protection specifically, and the teas and the smoke, the burning are the ones that help induce trances. That's when I smoke. I've smoked mugwort before, and so that's what I'm assuming.
Okay, I've always kind of wanted to try that sort of thing, but I didn't know if it would be safe for consumption or if they have to go through a certain process to be safe for consumption.
You just really have to get the good kind of. Don't get it from the grocery store. Get it from your local apothecary, herbalist, high-end witch store.
What?
I got mine from a coma witch on TikTok. She's local from LA and sources all of her areas from.
Which means if you get something from Amazon, don't ingest it. Just burn it if you need to. Put it in your satchels or in your vials or your jars, but do not consume it.
Yeah, don't get it from Amazon and consume it. Get it from your local witch shop, and then you can drink it as tea. You could smoke it. It is safe. I did it, and honestly, just made me feel really high. It was kind of awesome.
Sounds about right.
But be logical, don't get it from Walmart, don't get it from Amazon.
Right. Don't get it from big companies. Get it locally sourced from smaller sellers that actually picked it out from nature and dried it the way they were supposed to.
In the way of communicating with the other side, they'll do this kind of communicating, but they'll also use different forms of divination as a window to the other side. They'll typically use tarot, runes, pendulums, and scrying, such with this is not the most perfect crystal ball, but they'll use something like this to I do have that's amethyst. I don't think that would work. I think it has to be black. To access messages from the spiritual realm and get kind of communication that way as well.
Amethyst could work because it's connected to your crown chakra, so it's
true.
Possibility.
Okay, actually, it just needs to be a reflective surface, and they typically will do this in a dark room, low light situation. So it doesn't matter what kind of surface it is. It could be like a regular mirror. It just has to be a dark room.
So, mirrors.
I have the note.
I just want to do like a whole pop culture thing. Candyman, Bloody Mary. Oh, you gotta say Bloody Mary in the mirror 3 times in the dark. Even South Park did an episode about Biggie Smalls. Say Biggie Smalls 3 times in the mirror and Biggie Smalls will appear. Yeah, it's possible. It's very possible. Probably not to the very super dramatic extent as they do in pop culture, but it is very possible.
You can absolutely commune with spirits through mirrors, but you have to do it in a very specific way. No, but like Bloody Mary. No one's gonna show up for blood.
Candyman. Beetlejuice.
It's all the same. They just fucking change the way. But yeah, that's not how they do it. But like that's actually possible. Communing through mirrors. You can also commune with your spirit, your higher self, through just meditating in front of a mirror, staring yourself directly in the eye for 10 minutes, which is really hard to do actually, because you see your own soul. It's crazy.
I am scary good at eye contact, so I think I could do it.
You probably could, but there's a difference. It's not the eye contact. It's the seeing your own soul. Because at some point you do, and you're like, whoa. You want to look away, but you can't.
Hello, me.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like... But, yeah, though, that's what makes a hedge witch a hedge witch. It is communing with the other side. It is not a hedge. It is not a bush. It is like all of the other stuff that turns into being a hedge witch.
And this is why
I am actually very interested in communing with the other side, so
I am also, but that also comes with a lot of responsibility. So you have to make sure that you are extra careful with communing and make sure you know what you are communing with. And that's why Ouija boards are very, very specific. Don't fuck with a Ouija board if you do not know what you are doing, because now you have no idea what you are attracting to the fucking material world.
That being said, that's why a lot of witches spend a lot of time building their own house protections first, because then only what they want to come through will come through. They have warded their place so well, they don't have anything to worry about. But that comes with practice and like learning.
Yep.
So we should probably talk about protection magic at some point.
Didn't we have an episode on protection magic?
No, not yet. We have an idea for it, but not written.
I swear we did a while ago, we did a protection.
Unless it's...
I think we did one with Baji.
Did we never post that one? I think that might be the one we never posted.
I'm pretty sure we did. So yeah, we have some protection tips, but not completely. So we might link one of the older episodes and you can go take a look at them. It's very hard to sift through because none of these are titled, because this is when I was first starting out video editing. So mind your business. Thank you. Listen,
we're getting better and better every time. Now we have a fucking editor. Crazy. Speaking of the fact that I'm a little hungry, we're going to talk about kitchen witchery.
I'm about to get a burger after this because I am hungry too. I had some pizza rolls before we started recording, and them things is just not enough to fill me up. So I need some actual real food.
I only had soup before this, and I actually need to eat something.
And it looked like some good ass soup. That looked good as soup.
So, the first thing is about kitchen witchery is they bring their magic is through cooking, baking, and more any kind of tasks that focus strictly in the kitchen. Because I learned that there's another type of witch that this can be mistaken with, which is called a cottage witch, which does basically all of their witchcraft during their domestic life, like cleaning. And I'm very interested in learning how to be a cottage witch. So I don't have to do any kind of real witchcraft. Just let me just naturally do my life.
I'm glad that you learned about that, because I, for the longest time, was like, what the fuck is a cottage witch? Is it just a witch that lives in the cottage? Huh?
No, anything that they do around their house, magical.
Okay.
Anything.
Okay.
Like, they'll do, like, sewing. They'll do all kind of, like, handcrafted stuff that they use around their house.
Okay. That's neat. That's really cool.
I want to look more into that one for sure.
I'm about to with you.
It's a lot of stuff that I've... Anyway, back to kitchen witchery. But the kitchens are this witch's sacred space. This is where they have their altars. This is where they have their safe space. They cook with the intentions. Choosing ingredients that match magical correspondence to make a proper recipe as well as make a spell. Their recipes double as spell work. So every recipe is made with really important intentions.
So if you eat somebody's food and you're like, damn, I love them because they cook so well. They put some love in that shit, baby. Now, it's not a love spell to make you fall in love with them, but it's one that makes you feel love. It makes you feel what love could possibly be like. It makes you feel loved. It makes you want to love other people. Like, damn, this is some good ass soup, bitch. I love you. Like, this is why cooking is like, I want to learn how to cook so, like, I know how to cook, but I want to learn how to cook properly so bad. So if I make a nice pound cake or a nice carrot cake, you eat that shit and you're like, feels like home.
I just need a bigger kitchen.
Me too.
I just need a bigger kitchen so bad because I want to learn how to bake, like make bread. I want to make cookies. I want to make muffins. I want to make cupcakes. I want to decorate my cookies with like little smile, like my...
I just want to do a bunch of artisan shit. Like, I want to make my own fucking oil. I want to make my own salt. I want to grow my own plants.
I know how to make my own
fucking food.
I learned how to make my own jam. I learned how to make my own syrup. I have learned how to we actually have several cookie recipes on the books. They're really good. Mia has tried them. Her husband also tried them. Tried most of them.
We're still waiting for more cookies, by the way. Just saying.
I'm trying, but my kitchen is so small and uncomfortable.
I understand completely. That is the one thing, and this is why space is so, not that space, but a space in general is just very important. Because if you can't get in tune with the area that you're trying to perform all these rituals and all these practices in, then it's not going to bode well for you. Space and I watched a video that basically said, like, when you clean, you feel mentally you feel clarity, you feel refreshed because your space is clean. And so if it's not the ideal space for you to want to do those things in, then it's going to be difficult. You can make do with it, but it's not going to be at the level where you know that is your best. It's like, I know I can do better, but I just don't have the space and the area to do exactly what I want to do. If I had a bigger kitchen, then I could explore all of the shit that I want to do as a kitchen witch. If I had a smaller living room, it would be cozier for me because this big living room is hard to clean and it's so spacious, but it doesn't feel close-knit. It feels huge, and that's too much space for me. I want to feel like I've got a veil wrapped around me, and I want to feel comfortable in a tiny, cozy space, not this huge, big-ass fucking area that I don't know what to do with.
That's actually a good point. I do think I like a more cozy living room, but I want a big bedroom.
As long as it feels lived in, then I'm okay. Now, I don't want to get a humongous house because it's just me, my husband, and my kid. What the hell do I need a fucking 10 bedroom, 20 bathroom for?
No, but I do, like, the thing is with me, I want to have, like, a music room and an art room and, like, an entertainment room because my husband's very into not games. I'm into games. My husband is the movie head and the music head to the point where I have probably 200 CDs lining the walls behind me.
And like, that's fine.
You can see some of them right here.
And that's totally okay because that's that area for that thing. You want a big old movie theater in your house because you love watching movies? Okay, sure. You want a big old bedroom so you can put all of your witchcraft stuff and all of your spirituality stuff and make sure it's in the place where you sleep because that's where you are most, intuitively conscious. Then go ahead. But like living spaces, like I want to have something cozy with my family. Small little living room for just the three of you. There, I also learned that there's apparently a difference between a family room and a living room. I thought they were both the same shit, but apparently they are not. Basically, a family room is a living room just for your household, and then the living room is for your guests and all that other shit.
Yeah, I learned that when my grandmother got a family room and had it remodeled in the basement. And I was like, oh, that's why we never use the living room no more.
Right. And like that's okay as long as you know that you want to have a designated space for something, then that's okay. And that's why witches, even though they could probably make do with their small kitchen, 9 out of 10 times it's just them. So they know exactly how much space and when they need to clean and how often they need to clean. We're bougie, so we want a big fucking kitchen because we want to bake a pie while we're baking bread, while we're cooking this fucking mac and cheese, while we've got this fucking turkey in the oven. We want to do everything.
The irony is we're not even bougie. I just want to provide for other people, and I need more space for that.
Yeah, we're messy. We're chaotic. We need a bigger space so we can let our chaos just flow freely.
Like, I want to make cookies I want to make big batches of cookies for Christmas, or not even Christmas, Yule, because I don't celebrate Christmas, I celebrate Yule. I want to make big batches of fucking baked goods for Yule, and can't do that in a very small kitchen. And I want to have my friends over in my big kitchen.
It would just be very fucking overwhelming.
It would be very overwhelming.
Because you're trying to stuff too much in a tiny little space.
Can you tell that we were like aspiring kitchen witches? Let's be real.
And this is why I'm like now more like eclectic, because you can take green witch practices and you can take hedge witch practices and you can apply them to being a kitchen witch. Okay, cool. I picked out my own herbs and my own spices so I can use my recipe. Let me tap in real quick to my grandma and ask her, hey grandma, how much of this did you use in this recipe? There goes your hedge witchery. Your grandma, oh, well, baby, I put some of this and some of this and some of this. And it's like, well, all right then. And that's why.
And if you're really in tune, you could literally just be like, okay, grandma used this. Like, you'll just know. Grandma will just be communicating without even asking. She'd be like, oh, grandma used this, and she used just this much. That's perfect.
Seasoning until your ancestors tell you to stop is real. It is a real thing. You will feel it, and you will know.
That's why I'm so interested in learning about more different styles of witchcraft, because I know that I can pull something from each different, like, I just want to learn
about all
I
of it.
love knowledge. But kitchen witchery is totally kind of self-explanatory. Everything revolves around the kitchen. Your safe space is in your kitchen. Your sacred space is in your kitchen. Your altar is probably in your kitchen, or very close to your kitchen. All your recipes double as spells. You are very knowledgeable of what goes in your food, of its magical properties, more so than just its you probably do dabble a little bit in its medicinal properties, enough to get by, but you're more the magical person. You're probably also very good at seasonal celebrations because you love community and you love providing for people. Kitchen witches are very much the give, here's my food, eat, bitches, and they will be hurt if you turn them down. I'm gonna be real. They won't say it, but they will be, why won't you eat my love?
But also be careful, because there will be some that are literally just trying to either curse you or poison you. But you will be able to tell that kind of energy when someone is giving you something. So as long as you're intuitive.
If you're in tune with yourself, you'll be able to tell when the vibes are off. Don't worry about that.
Right.
That's not... Okay. Mia, let's be positive and not think that everybody is surrounding themselves with people that want to curse you.
I'm not saying that at all, but I'm just saying be careful. Don't just be going willy-nilly taking everybody's cookies and shit.
I know, but it just comes off as curses. Everyone's trying to curse you.
We're good cop, bad cop. I'm the bad cop. And Space is the good cop.
It's just funny. I just don't understand why people want to be bad people. It's just weird.
It's
like,
taught behavior.
It's like, oh, you want to curse people? That's crazy. That's a lot of effort. Like, I'll curse somebody, but like, you have to earn that shit. Because that's a lot of energy and a lot of effort. And I will do it if you're really that bad. But you have to be that bad. I can't just be handing those curses out willy-nilly.
Right. Because after a while, it just starts losing its effect. Like, bitch, really? This one? Again? They didn't even do shit. You're just being bitter and petty.
It's like the crying wolf works in spirituality too. Too many curses means that you're not going to have any power left. Oh, a kitchen witch also. Another thing that makes me want to be a kitchen witch. They probably know how to mix their own teas and make little potions out of tea.
Oh my god. Speaking of tea, I will always bring up this one. Their name is Minty Bong Water. And they are on TikTok and they are on Facebook. I think they're just period on social media. They make their own tea. They have their own blend of teas that they make, and they even have a sweet potato tea, like a sweet potato pie tea. I haven't tried it yet, but I really do want to. Every time I come across his videos, I'm like, oh my god, because somebody in the comments is always like, hey, how about you make a peach mango lemon tea, or like a lavender or cranberry, like just all these different flavors in tea, and he'll try them out with his own personal blend on top of what you ask him to. And then he'll tell you if it's good or not. And then if it's really, really good, he will make one and he will put it in his shop. He also has a really good tea strainer, I think it's called, like a presser. I don't remember. But I want to try it so bad because some of his stuff looks amazing.
Loose leaf tea. I want to drink just any kind of loose leaf tea because I need a proper strainer for it. But oh god, I want to try loose leaf so bad. Every strainer that I've gotten gets the fucking tiny itty bitty bits into the fucking.
It's a presser. Like it's you stir it up and then you press down all of the gritty itty icky bickies and then you just pour it.
So a kitchen witch will brew their own teas, mixture, and they'll also probably be able to make their own syrups, oils, vinegars, and they'll consider them potions because they'll have very specific. This is really the artisan witch for sure. At least the kitchen artisan.
Yeah.
Food artisan, I should say. They'll also use a lot of salt in their practices for protection. That'll be probably their go-to for protection. And honestly, salt is readily available. It's your best friend.
True. Very true.
And
if you play any ghost game, you'll know that there's always some salt.
Kosher only. We learned that. Ionized doesn't have the same properties, apparently.
Nope. Iodized is a completely different thing.
However, ionized is good for you, so it's a lose-lose. So
it's all moderation.
Ionized and table salt. Kosher, any kind of other, like, granted, we could truly break down the different types of salts and their properties too, but like, let's not go there. That's a whole nother episode.
That's a whole crystal episode.
That is a whole crystal episode because sea salt is different from regular salt, but
we could even do a short on it, honestly.
Ooh, that is a good idea to do some more shorts. Ain't that crazy? We've been talking about that. But yeah, kitchen witches. It's mainly about building love and relationship through food and feeding each other and taking care of each other through food.
That's why I love going to a granny's house, especially a southern granny, cause that southern granny or even a grandpa. Like, they will make sure that you are eating, that you will come in all slim as hell and you will walk out all stuffed and chubby because they're like, here, take this, eat.
Ooh, This reminds me of a video I watched. Okay, so there's this little YouTube couple that I've seen around, and it's a German and a Vietnamese person, and they just went to Vietnam to meet her. I don't know if they just went. They went to Vietnam to meet her family, and he was having trouble because he doesn't like their food. Really, it's very much of a relationship that they cook their own meals because the German is German. He eats. I'm not gonna make fun of him, but it's his cuisine is questionable at best. But the granny noticed, the mom noticed, and she began cooking him the stuff that he liked most often, and would leave the stuff that he didn't like for the rest of the family. Aww. But he would get his own little serving of food to make sure that he ate.
That's sweet.
Because she discovered that he really liked the greens that they would make and stuff like that. So she just made him his own serving of greens. He got dumplings, I believe, and something else, while the rest of the family ate their traditional food. It was super kitchen witch.
That sounds just like my sister's mom, and I promise you, she might be a kitchen witch. Because she loves cooking. Like, cooking is her thing. She can make anything under the sun and everything. There has not been one meal from her that I have had that tasted bad. And you can just tell when you eat it that she made it with so much love. Like, you eat it and you're like, this is what a home-cooked meal feels like. This is what a home-cooked meal tastes like. And she did the same thing because my husband doesn't eat vegetables because he's a child. So she would make things that we normally eat, but he would be like, he's very awkward and shy. So he didn't have the heart to tell her, like, hey, this is not something I normally eat. But she's intuitive and she could tell. And she's like, do you want me to make you something else? And they're like, oh, no, it's okay, because they don't want to be like a burden or they don't want to impose. And she's like, if you don't tell me what you want to eat, I'm going to make you something that I think you're going to eat and you're going to like it. And I was like, clock it. Tell him, okay? Like,
so that's a kitchen witch, probably, for sure. So that is the 3 that we have for you today. Because I realized that we talk a lot and there's a lot to talk about. Each witch has their own. We could have talked a lot longer, for sure. And each witch type has their own skill set, as you can tell. Green witch is not a kitchen witch. It's not a hedge witch. They're vastly different. And I wanted to talk about them specifically because I think this is the 3 that cross a little bit in terms of social media, but they don't actually cross in terms of practices.
Honestly, like, if y'all want to, comment and tell us if you would rather see like a short of us breaking down all like individual witch types, or even a series of breaking down like all the individual witch types. Like, we could do an episode about hedge witch. It probably won't be an hour long, and if it is, that's just because we decided that we wanted to talk about every single thing that is part of being a hedge witch. Or, just let us know if that is something that y'all are interested in seeing, because I would definitely be down for doing a little series like that, like a vibe check series where we just talk about every type of archetype of witch and probably like lead with eclectic.
In like video and be video specific. Like, it's hedge witch only, kitchen witch only, and we do a much bigger breakdown than what we did. Like, I did very overarching views of each of them for now to show you the vast differences between them, but there's much more that we could break down and research. I like the fact that I can see cat hair floating in the camera.
So nice. Yeah, just let us know if that's something that y'all would be interested in seeing, because again, we are always looking for new types of content to put out. And if we can be told from other people what they would like to see, then we will absolutely put it out there.
Absolutely. We want to give you guys whatever you want.
We're people pleasers.
Respectfully.
Within
boundaries. There's some things I won't do.
We're people pleasers with boundaries.
Yay. Former people pleasers who have developed boundaries.
That's why nobody likes me anymore.
The reason that nobody likes me anymore is because I have boundaries. And I will confront you if you are starting to piss me off. Sure. So, well, that is all I have for you guys today.
Yay! Okay, so we will be doing part 2 next week, because Space picked these 3, and the 3 that I picked were Lunar Witch, Crystal Witch, and Sea Witch. And that's going to be very fun and very interesting to dive into, because I actually have not done a lot of looking into sea witches, and I'm very, very interested because I have an obsession with water, and it's probably because my Cancer is in Moon, and I like to cry a lot, and I love emotion. So, yay!
I'm a Scorpio, so I don't know what to tell you.
Listen, I promise you, I bet you my entire chart is dominated by water signs.
I'm willing to bet. It's funny because I think mine's actually Earth signs, but I have Pluto is in home, Mars is in home, Sun is in this Scorpio, so water is my best friend. I have been obsessed with the sea since I was a kid. I liked ocean life. My main OC is at one point the will of the sea itself, so
Water.
I love pirates. I love the sea. I love the ocean. I love pirates.
I love pirates.
All my favorite series are about pirates.
I love pirates. I don't know. It's just something about water. Water is calming, and I love it. And
water's also terrifying. The deep water is horrific.
Oh my god!
The deep sea. And the monsters that can be under the water, because they can be so big because they have no buoyancy issues.
Did you see?
They can be huge.
There was like a video
Krakens.
Underwater, and it was like a big old ruin underwater that you can walk and explore, and it had that like the her like, you know, that video, that noise where it's like the scary spooky whatever noise.
Yeah,
it was like that, but when you went under, it was like just a whole big ass ruin that you can go down and explore. And I was like, that's scary but kind of cool.
D&D ideas.
Yay, I'm the lore keeper. Anyway, thank you for joining us again this week. If you like our videos, make sure that you please like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you are informed when we are uploading new videos.
I'm so excited because we're gonna start recording more.
Yeah, we're gonna have so much backstock. Y'all will never know what the fuck we're doing in real life until we tell you what we're doing in real life, and it does not coincide with the videos that we are posting.
Oh, absolutely not. Like, these are gonna be so... I'm so excited because you guys are gonna be so ready.
We got food for y'all. Y'all about to eat with witches and weebs, okay? We're eating.
We got ideas. We got ideas out the woo-ha. We've got the help that we needed.
We finally stopped kissing our own asses and decided, okay, we can't do everything. We knew that we couldn't do everything by ourselves in the beginning, but we were stubborn enough to see if we could. Needless to say, we were wrong.
We were wrong. Yeah.
I mean, we already knew it, but we just had to.
We cannot be our own editors and record as much as we want with all the ideas that swim in our head and all the plans that we have. We needed help. So it is what it is. Humbled, to say the least. It's best to let go and teach others how you want it to be done than to just keep doing it yourself and burn yourself out.
Exactly. And that's why school is a thing, but we're not going to get into that. Anyway, remember, everybody, practice wisely and stay safe. May all of your positive affirmations and manifestations come to fruition. Goodbye, everybody.
Stay mystical. Goodbye.